KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is Urban Suite D Major, Cheryl Meadow, Big Kree in studio with us. So you said you dropped your first project around 2006?
Yeah, 2006. It's like a real nostalgic year to me. Like,
Yeah.
for some reason, everything surrounds 2006, 2007. 2006 was like Mike Jones' peak.
Okay.
I think 2006, 7. That was like the Young Jeezy days, and you know what I mean. Like that was the era.
Yeah.
That was the vibe at that time. I'll never forget 06. And of course, we can't talk about 2006 if we don't talk about the Boss Bar.
Want to talk about that, babe?
Yes, you're welcome. Everybody is welcome for the Boss Bar. That was mine first. And what a welcoming, wonderful place that was. It was magical.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad to be a part of it, and to be one of the last existing artists that still pushing the same agenda from 2006 back then, until now. Like I really feel accomplished, because we look back and that was a very long journey, a very long road. There's a lot of faces that I never saw again from back then. Great people. Just life happens. People moved, and every now and then I see some people scattered out on Facebook. There's this one guy, I see him, he lives in Florida, I forget his name, but Governor Prince.
And I'll see Mark Twain pop up here and there.
Yes. Shout out to Governor Prince, he's still tapped in. There's a couple, people like Cheryl, I'm still tapped in with from the Boss Bar, but, anybody from that era, and that nostalgia and everything, they know the origin of Big Kree, if you remember back then, So that was in the pocket phone days.
Killing every stage.
Pocket phone. Oh my God, it's going back. It's going back.
2006 when I jumped off the porch.
Man. Okay, so what was your first introduction to working with Rashid and being a part of 21 Century?
Well, before Rashid, I was in a group with Juan Gotti. Juan Gotti, Dope House member, just like Rashid.
Yeah.
And I was in a group with Gotti called Agravado, which was myself, another guy named Mr. Unico, another guy named Insane Mexican, rest in peace Dizzy Devil, another guy named AD. So basically, Juan Gotti wanted to start a group, something like the Aggravated Houston version, but I guess with, I don't want to say a San Antonio version, but his own version. And, and this is years later from the original Aggravated. But, I went on the road with Gotti first. Okay. And then I would see Rashid around because, wherever there's Gotti, there's Rashid. So I would see Rashid around, and, after a while, when I separated from Gotti, I was doing like a group thing. And then 2010, I went solo. And then late 2011, 2012, that's when I linked up with Rashid, did business with him the way you're supposed to, bought a verse and kicked it off. And we just locked in and started repping that 21st, and I still rep it to this day. That's one thing about me. Like I push the same agenda from day one.
Yeah, and so I see both of you working hard, kind of pushing each other.
For sure.
Getting good out there.
For sure.
In fact, I saw him respond to you being here tonight. Like, hey man, what's up?
Right. Yeah.
Cool dude. And we need to get him in here too.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a minute. Shouts out to Sheedy G.
Yeah, we gotta definitely get that going on. How many projects have you released so far? I mean, that's a swath of about almost getting close to 20 years. So.
Close to 20 years, yeah. I mean, want to talk about full bodies of work? I want to say I don't have an exact number, but I put out probably 13 to 16 mixtapes from. When we're talking about the pre-package era, I have some that are just audio, CD, and I had some that were CD, bonus DVD, some that were original Screwed and Chopped DVD. I also have my own DVD series I pushed. It was called Tone Up. Earlier in the year, that was the thing, putting the DVDs and the screens and whatnot, and kind of pre-early YouTube days, everything you got was on DVD.
Yeah.
So, I would put all my buddies' videos, everybody that I would... network with, whether they're from San Antonio or not, and I started the Tone Up movement. And I did that, volume 1 through 4, and that went great up until about 2015 when the CD era died. I noticed nobody really wanted to buy CDs no more.
Yeah.
But roughly when we're talking about projects I put out, plus DVDs and And original albums, I have, I think, 4 original albums, probably like 20 pieces of work, about 20 DVDs, mixtapes, albums, about 20 projects.
Wow.
Good 20 projects out there. And that's not including the singles that I'm dropping now currently. You know, I probably dropped, I don't know, 10, 20 singles, you know, as modern day in the past couple of years.
Yeah. I know right before we went on, you was talking about the pivot you made, starting hitting up car shows, selling merch and everything.
Right.
Explain that to the people.
Well, this was the thing, you know. I'm in the era now where, you know, I'm in my late 30s. And, you know, nowadays, everything is done digital, online. When I got in the game, it was analog.
Right.
Meaning everything was hands-on. So back then, it was like people didn't want one single now. Like now you can put out one single, you can sit on it and do one video, cool, promote it for 3 months. Back then, people wanted a full body of work, and everybody's pumping out full bodies of work. We're talking about, I'll put out mixtapes like 24, 28 songs, and I would pump out 2, 3 mixtapes a year sometimes. So I just remember just hustling like that, you know, thinking when I got in the game, I was like, I would see other rappers. I would go to Poti Flea Market, you know, where I still have a business there to this day, and I would go and I would see SPM at his booth, and I'd be like, oh man, that guy over there, man, that's cool, you know, I like that, like, I want to be like that someday. And I would see, like, other Houston rappers, like Hater Proof, oh man, I would see Chingo Bling, I would see Fade Dog, and I'd be like, oh man, like, these, you know, this is the recipe. These guys are about 10 years older than me. So back then, I was the 18-year-old, you know, 20-year-old dude trying to get on. And I was like, well, in order to get on, I shout out to the Hooligans, because they started everything, talking about CDs, everything.
Yeah.
So Hooligans, Tone City, you know, the Houston rappers, everybody that I seen at the Poteet, I'm like, this is the formula. You know, I need to get a booth, and I need to get some, I need to get my project going, and when it's done, this is where I'm going to sell it.
Okay.
And this is where I'm going to make a name for myself, and that's how we got to where we're at today.
Yeah. You said you've been doing a lot of traveling.
Right. One thing I learned very early in the business is your network, how they say your net worth is only as big as your network. So from 2006 to I want to say about 2012, back then the hip hop scene was a lot more live when it comes to local shows, and it was a lot more vibrant and fluent. And at that time back then, whether I was in a group with Unico, the Traficantes, or whether I was rolling solo, we would do literally a show every night. Monday night we'd be at this club, Tuesday night we'd be at this club, and Wednesday night we'd be here. I mean, Tycoon Flats, Hotspot, Club West, all kinds of places. I can go on for days. We're talking about venues that don't even exist no more. You know, they're somebody built a house there, lives there. You know, like I done been there, done that, the underground. So I had to learn, like, hey, you know, I can't be doing this for the rest of my career. It's not going to take me nowhere. So then in 2000. Like I said, around the time I got with Juan Gotti, he you know, about 2009, 10, no, 2008. But he was the one that took me like to West Texas, and you know, he was they were promoting the Last Chair Violinist at SPM. You know, he was still dropping albums and stuff. So we would go do like the CD release parties, and we would go to these little towns like La Mesa and San Marcos and New Braunfels and just Pearsall, Dilley. And we would conquer. We would go and shut it down, and you know, I was just glad to be a part of it. You know, like, so then, whenever I became solo, I had a taste of what being on the road was like, and being on the road with bigger artists. So I said, now it's my turn. I need to be that guy, you know, to step it up, and let's take this worldwide.
Yeah, and look where it got you right now.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all, stay tuned. We've got more with Big Kree coming up, but right now, as promised, we're about to go deep in the trenches with DJ Mercury with a truly funky blends mix. You're not going anywhere, y'all. This is Urban Sweet KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.